Hello, and thank you for joining us today to learn about the Family Resource and Youth Services Center's Continuation Program Plan Redesign. The Division of Family Resource and Youth Services Centers, with input from our FRIC coordinators, is redesigning our center planning tool for several reasons. First, we wanted a planning tool to drive each center to focus on measurable outcomes. Second, we heard from many FRIC coordinators that the current version of the tool led to listing activities multiple times, which created more work without any real benefit. Third, we wanted coordinators to have a printer-friendly version of their program plan to easily share with their advisory councils and their administrative team as a way to communicate the scope of their center. Phase 1 included 40 centers from across the state who tested the new format while writing their 2026-2028 program plan. After taking their feedback and inputs, it was decided to recruit a second pilot group before our plan goes statewide to 960 centers. At least one school in your district was chosen for this second round of testing. In our second pilot group, the coordinators are being asked to write a one-year plan for the 2027-2028 school year. We believe that centers across the state routinely impact the ABCs of education: attendance, behavior, and course performance. Much of the work being done in Family Resource and Youth Services Centers helps to create the conditions for change in these important areas. The new program plan asks coordinators to identify specific strategies that can be measured for these changes. In addition to measurable outcomes, we believe this shift will lead to more targeted interventions for students, enhanced continuous quality improvement, and it will allow coordinators to work with their advisory councils and administrative team to consider if any of the work they are currently doing should be shifted in order to accommodate more data-driven strategies. In this redesigned program plan, coordinators will be asked to organize their work under 1 to 2 of these areas of concern: chronic absenteeism, social emotional learning, out-of-school programs, post-secondary readiness, and family engagement. Training will be provided to help coordinators use data in their current needs assessment to identify the areas where they can be most impactful. The FRISC core components will continue to be a foundational piece of the center work, and so far, the coordinators engaged in the first pilot have easily addressed the components in the program plans. Once an area of concern is chosen, strategies will be developed to address each area. Strategies are targeted, high impact, measurable, and intentional. Most centers are already providing these types of services. For example, mentoring programs, reading tutors, or social emotional skill work groups can be considered a strategy. A new aspect of this plan asks coordinators to go one step further and intentionally measure the ABC data from participants of these services or strategies. It is required that FRISC coordinators collect data that measures the actual change of program participants. Examples of outcome data include testing scores, attendance rates, number of behavioral referrals, graduation rates, and social emotional screener results. While the focus of this new program plan is identifying measurable strategies, centers will continue to offer vital supports to students. We know that services such as resource referrals, school-wide initiatives, crisis intervention, and others are often needed and valued within the Family Resource and Youth Services Center program. Within the program plan redesign, these activities are referred to as supporting activities. Supporting activities are related to improving the areas of concern, just in a way that is not as easily measurable. Here are some examples of strategies compared to supporting activities. One-time events such as family literacy nights, muffins with moms, events that target the entire school population, dissemination of flyers about GED classes, or referrals to local organizations are all examples of supporting activities. After this pilot of 138 centers, we will expand to all centers statewide for the 2028-2030 school year. This timeline provides an outline of training and technical assistance opportunities for participating coordinators. We will have an initial training in July of 2026, and there will be virtual options if coordinators cannot attend our Victory Over Violence conference. We will have further CPP training in the fall and small regional technical support groups in the winter of 2026 that are optional but encouraged. We have a deadline for completion of March 2027. Here are some ways that school and district administration can partner with the Division of FRISC to ensure this pilot is a success. We would love for you to collaborate with your coordinators to align the needs identified of your school with their strategies. Identify potential gaps or barriers in student services and share those with your coordinators. Work together to recognize the potential shift in focus for center coordinators. Ensure coordinators have adequate access to data, particularly in Infinite Campus. And understand that participating in this pilot will require coordinators to have some additional training time outside of the school building. As always, if the Division of FRISC can be of any help to you or your team, please do not hesitate to reach out directly to your FRISC Regional Program Manager. Thank you for your attention today and your continued support for the Family Resource and Youth Services Center program. If we can be of any assistance to you, please don't hesitate to let us know.